What's up? I'm back. I hope you missed me a little bit. Hopefully, you didn't forget me. And if you did, that makes me a little bit sad. But that's what I'm here today for, is to jog your memory just a little bit, okay? Oh, me. I did take a 3-month hiatus. I think the last episode I dropped was like July 20 something. Let me check real quick. But we're back now, which is all that matters, like Drake said. Yeah, July 22nd, 2024. And what did Drake say? He said, better late than never. Never late is better. Well, better late than never. Drizzy. Everyone has been doing well. I hope that Brocktober, because today is Brocktober 20th, I hope Brocktober has been treating you very well. For those of you who don't know, my birthday is in October. My name is Broc, if you didn't know. And a few years ago, I obnoxiously renamed October Brocktober because what a little cute coinky dink that is. And I know it's obnoxious to some people, but that makes it all the more fun for me. And so from here on out, I'll be 88 years old talking about it's Brocktober again. My great grandbabies is going to be so annoyed with me. I don't care. They'll have to get over it. That's just Grandpappy. That's just Grandpappy. Favorite month is Brocktober. You know how he gets. I'm going to say you dang right. But yeah, happy Brocktober. I thought there's no better time to start the podcast up again than the great month of Brocktober. So yeah, hope it's been good to you. Hope the last few months has been good to you. Hope you haven't missed me too much. I know I've missed doing this, and it's been so good to have people say to me, "When's the next episode coming out? Where you been? Where's the podcast at?" Makes me feel good, so I appreciate it. And let's see. I did jot down some notes here. Mm-hmm. 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 I am not going to go into where I've been exactly the last few months on this episode. For this episode is really to just shake the rust off a little bit and kind of get back into the swing of things. I think I was catching a stride by episode 3, and I was getting better at editing, coming up with the content that I was talking about or whatever. I got in a bit of a rhythm, and then July happened, and I've been on a hiatus since. But I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, so this is going to be probably choppy or not as rhythmic as I felt like by episode 3 it was going. Anyways, here to shake the rust off, here to say I'm back, here to say welcome back, here to say we ain't never gonna stop. I might take a break every now and again, but I ain't never gonna stop. But yeah. Remember how I was saying, I think in the first episode, how people always mess up my name? Well, it happened to me twice last week, and I'm used to it by now, but these 2 times were particularly annoying because of the time I spent explaining to the people I was talking to how I spell my name and the trouble I have with getting people to spell my name correctly. Now, these two times kind of tie into each other, which made it extra annoying. So, sometime last week, I go to set up a new bank account. I don't go to set up a new bank account. I go to cash a check, and the people tell me it's going to be a huge fee to cash this check unless I was a member. And the member fee just so happened to be just as much as the fee would be to cash the check. So I was like, okay, why not? I'll do it. I might as well put this money to good use if I'm going to have to spend this money anyways. So here I am thinking I'm going to be in and out of the bank to sitting with a very kind lady. She's very kind. We had a great interaction, great conversation throughout the time I spent in her office. And she asked me my name. And when people ask me my name, and it's like a setting like that to where I know they're having to put my set up an account or whatever, I go ahead and automatically spell my name because I know how they're going to spell it. So she goes, okay, so there's not a K on Broc. I say, correct, because that's what I said. I didn't say that. That's what I felt. When people ask you after you, okay, so my first name is Broc, B-R-O-C. My last name is Malcolm, M-A-L-C-O-M. Okay, so Broc, B-R-O-C, no K. Yes, I didn't forget how to spell my name. You know, I did not forget how to spell it. M-A-L-C-O-M. No, it's not M-A-L-C-O-L-M. That's correct, because that's what I said. And I'm not in kindergarten. Okay? And I knew how to spell my name then too. So anyways, after that interaction, I always have to I always go ahead and spell my name because people often misspell it. People often think my first name is my last name is my first name. So I go ahead and put all that information out there initially. And we talk about this for probably, say I was in there for 30 minutes. It was probably a little bit longer. We probably spent 5 to 7 minutes talking about how I spell my name because I think one of her kids kind of goes through the same thing because of how she spelled their name. Fantastic. I'm thinking we're good to go. She's on my side. She understands my struggle, my pain. Okay. All good. Account gets set up. We create an account for the mobile app. I walk out of there feeling fantastic. I don't even look at the debit card that I get. I don't even look at any of the stuff because I think we're good to go. I don't have to use that card until probably 5 days later when I call an internet company that I want to switch my internet to. Now, I'm on the phone with this lady. We're going through the same exact thing because she's having more trouble spelling my name than I would like her to. She wants my name to be spelled with a K so bad, and my last name to be spelled with an extra L so bad. Not furious, but the temperature in my whole entire body is raising at a rapid pace after about the third time I tell her how to spell my name, and she acts like I don't know how to spell my name. Now, kind lady, but hey, I'm not lying to you about how to spell my name, okay? That's just something I'm not going to do, okay? I'm not going to lie about how I spell my name. I wouldn't do that, okay? So, I'm not joking. I probably spelled my name for her 5 times, maybe even 6. And then Another thing that I go through is when they ask for my email address, I don't say it. I just spell it because that's going to create another 3-minute interaction. And let's go ahead and nip it in the bud. I've been through this hundreds of times, and I'm not joking. So, and can I get a good email address for this account? I spell my email. Now, she goes, okay, can I have once I think that the coast is clear and we're good, she says, can I have a good card number for automatic payments? I said, okay, 1 second. Let me go get my debit card. I go to get my debit card. I read off the number. And what's the name on the card? I look down. I look at my name on the card. And what do you know? I used to deal with anger issues. I did. I used to have a problem. I think that now in my age that I'm at currently, I've learned to control it a lot better. But that doesn't mean that I don't still feel the emotion of anger when I know I probably shouldn't be feeling it as strongly as I do. And this was one of those times. But I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it at this point. So I tell her, I say, I'm thinking this is going to confuse the bejesus out of you. But I'm going to tell you what's going on because I kind of have to. I said, remember, because I also explained to her how people always misspell my name, right? I say, do you remember when I was telling you a few minutes ago that people always misspell my name? I said, okay, well, the name on this card is misspelled, but I'm going to have to give it to you like it is now, or the card probably won't go through. I said, but this is not how you spell my name. So now I'm like, she probably thinks I was really lying about my name because this is on the debit card. So I spell my name incorrectly for her for the sake of the card to go through, and it does. And I'm like, I really hope that this doesn't mess it up. So the next day, the installation tech from this internet company comes out to my home. He installs the internet, gets it up and running, gets my phone connected, goes to set me up on my account. We can't find the account. I know exactly why we can't find the account. I know exactly why. But I let him try all the avenues. He gets on the phone with customer service and he tells them my name. And then they have to pull up my account through my mobile number. And guess how my name is spelled? Broc. Malcolm. The exact way I said not to spell it. So, whatever. Everything finally got sorted out. I was able to get into my account, change all my names on there to the real Broc Malcolm. I have officially decided to change my name to Norman Normal. Okay? So from here on out, once I get it legalized, that's my name. I'm done with having to go through all these troubles for people just to misspell a simple 4-letter name. Anyways. Okay? All right. Rant over. Had to get that off my chest, though. Yeah, so that's fun. Anyways, Brocktober, besides that, has been great. They don't want me to have it. They don't want me to have Brocktober. They don't. They really don't. That's okay. We still gonna have it. I'll be Brock 1 month out of the year, and for the other 11, I'll be normal. Norman, or Norman Normal. Okay? And if you can't spell Norman Normal, it's on you. That's on you. Oh, but yes, we're back. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back with the tomfoolery, with the shenanigans. Feels good to be back in this chair with this microphone in front of me. The camera's rolling, the lights hot as crap. The podcast curtain up. It's just a blanket over the little makeshift wall that I made out of wood. And yeah, my little studio's back up and running. This is the Norman Normal studio, by the way. Sholia. But anywho, I think I might be one of the all-time worst texter backers, because I am not very good at texting back. I'm texting someone back. But yeah, someone can text me and I feel like I always eventually text back. But when I do text back, I'm gonna act like I'm gonna pick up right off that last conversation. It could be 3 months down the road, and now I'll act like we were having this conversation yesterday. I don't know what it is. I think I'm very avoidant sometimes with communication. And I feel like that's a part of my ADHD or something like that. And I'll say this, because I can't stand when people like self-diagnose themselves. I have not went to the doctor. I have not seen like a therapist or anything, but I for sure have ADHD. I've learned that like the last year and a half. And I've been doing research and studies on it since then. Haven't went to a doctor yet, but I know I have it for sure. But I can't stand when people will self-diagnose themselves just and have done like no research or no studies, and they just say it to say it. Because I feel like that takes away from the people who are actually like going through it. And this is apart from like ADHD. This is like people who actually are going through like depression or have severe anxiety about, or have just severe anxiety. When people just say it to say it, I feel like they're diminishing people who are actually dealing with that stuff. And I feel like it's a little bit disrespectful. And I feel like there's something about that with like current culture. It's been going on for like the last few years, to where people would just say they have something or whatever, just to say it, just because other people say it. And that's annoying to me. And don't do that. If you do that, don't do that. If you really feel like you are going through something like that, or you're dealing with something serious, like, go seek help. And if you're not sure, do the research. Read a few books, Google peer-reviewed articles about whatever you're dealing with. Start there. Get into some forums. This is what I did with ADHD. Reddit has a good ADHD subreddit, by the way. And there's plenty of information out there. Obviously, you have to be careful about the information that you consume. That's why I say go peer-reviewed, but don't just look at one or two. Like, do some extensive research. I know people don't like to read, but I think it's important. And it's really helpful and beneficial to do the research yourself and to kind of understand all the things that are going on with, for example, my example, like ADHD. For one, it helps me understand, oh, that's why I struggle with that. That's why it's hard for me to do this. That explains it. And it's such a relief. It's such a kind of weight off, or for me, it was like a weight off my shoulders to understand that the reason why I struggle with said thing is because my brain works this way. And to hear other people's stories or issues that are similar to yours and learning how they navigate through those things helped me tremendously to find ways to help myself through those same, like, similar problems. And I think that's important. And then it also helps other people to understand you when you understand yourself better. So, like, if you struggle with something, but you don't really understand why you struggle with it, or you don't even know that it's a struggle per se, if you're able to understand that and then convey that information to, say, your significant other, for me, in my experience, it has helped them kind of gain patience with me in certain areas, which then alleviated problems that were stemming from issues that I was dealing with. So, like I said, if you're really going through something like that, like, actually look into it. Don't just say you got it, and don't just acknowledge it to not try to find a solution for it. Search for it. Search for a solution. Try to make a change. Like, try to help yourself out. And especially if you think you have ADHD, I'm not even joking. Like, I feel like a ton of people actually do. And I feel like the studies of ADHD are, from what I've surmised from me reading, I feel like there's so much more to actually learn about it. And the people who do have it, I feel like it can be like later onset from different things, but that's a whole nother story. Anyways, I for sure have it. And I pulled a list from a couple books that I have read through, and I wanted to read this off to you. So if you think you have it in this, any of this matches up, you might want to do some reading and research. Let's see. So in this one, it was like a quick list of ADHD ways of being. Do you think you or someone close to you might have ADHD? It is. You would likely find that, and then here's a few that matches up with me for sure. Your mind races. You can't stand boredom. You're original. Marching to the beat of your own drum. You're inordinately stubborn. That one's not for me. Nah, I'm definitely not stubborn. You have a distorted sense of time. People with ADHD tend to be aware of only 2 times, now and not now. As I'm recording this, I'm late to somewhere, because when I have the motivation to do something, if I don't jump on that motivation to do that thing, I will either never get back around to it, or it'll be a really long time before I actually do get back around to it. And so I was walking past the computer. I had already gotten ready. My computer was looking at me. My microphone said, "What's good?" I said, "What's happening?" And he said, "You think what I'm thinking?" And I said, "Yeah." My computer said, "Come on over here, young man. Sit down. Sit down real quick. Let me holler at you." So I sat down, and now I'm hollering at him. And now we're here. And I'm late. But it's all good, because you know what? We'll be fine. You crave high stimulation. You desire excitement, speed, risk, and instant outcomes. Sometimes people with ADHD fall into the trap of maladaptive ways of getting high stimulation. Some of those things are like gambling, spending, food and sugar addictions, alcohol, nicotine, things like that. I have stayed away from certain things because I felt like I would develop an addiction to those things. And I haven't really dealt with like an addiction to certain things. I feel like if I'm ready to stop something, I can stop it. I've always been pretty good about that. But I do go through phases where I'm very gung ho a certain thing, and then like the boredom thing. The moment I get bored with it, it's like cut and dry, and so I deal with that, which is another thing. You loathe hypocrisy. I've struggled with that in my past relationships because for some reason it'll just jut out at me like a billboard when someone, what's the word, um, contradicts themselves. And I'm not saying I am exempt of being a hypocrite, because I'm sure I have been, but when someone else does it, it stings me deep, or it just sticks out to me. You feel a visceral need to achieve things. Hello. To create, to move, to swing into action, to build, to birth something, anything. You're creative, coming up with new ideas all the time. The problem is keeping up with them and doing something with them. I've gotten better about that the last few months. I've got a tiny notebook that I keep with myself, and then I try to keep this thing up to date daily. So knowing that I have to find a way to keep up with all these things that I think about, I have to make myself write it down in real time and not just put it on my phone, because I'll get distracted with something on my phone. But taking out a notebook and actually like physically writing it down has helped me tremendously. You're impatient. You feel like you're underachieving. You may be achieving at a high level, but you know that you could just find the key. If you could just find the key, you could do much better and with less effort. Let's see. And there's more. I could keep going, but I don't know. Like, it just feels good to see those things and to be like, that is me. That does describe me. And then trying to, like I said, find ways to help yourself in those areas. I'll have a whole episode on ADHD probably, because I've learned a ton about it. And I think a lot of people have it and don't realize they have it, because I was one of those people. And I was struggling a ton in certain areas and didn't really understand why. But I would get super down on myself because I couldn't understand why I couldn't bring myself to do something, or like I said, I felt an overwhelming sense of underachievement, even though realistically that wasn't the case. But the feeling would still be there. Anyways, it's very interesting. Seek help, learn yourself, research, be careful of your research, consume from all different perspectives, so that way you're able to think for yourself. Always come to your own conclusions. Always think for yourself. Don't let anyone else think for you. And all right, I think I have to be done. I think I gotta get going. But anywho, I don't know if this is an ADHD thing or not, but like, I've noticed it more and more because of this podcast and me trying to record it. And I've always been this way, but like I said, it's kind of been more apparent to me lately. I have this need to be super specific if I'm telling somebody something or telling somebody a story. And sometimes I know that I'm going way like too in depth with details, things that the person probably thinks that don't matter, but I think it is pivotal for their understanding of the story. And like, I just need to be super specific, and I want you to understand every single thing about what I'm about to tell you or why I'm telling you it. Like, sometimes I will go back a week in time to make you understand something that happened yesterday. And it irks me when people don't do that. And that's a me problem. But boy, does it fire me up. It's almost like the hypocrisy thing. That's one thing that fires me up. It's like someone's telling me something that doesn't really add up timeline wise or plot wise, or I'm like, why are you saying that? That doesn't really match up. It irks me, and sometimes it'll just make me just tune out. I'm like, man, I want to. This is a Tubi story, and I'm trying to hear a Netflix top 10 story. Okay. And you know what? I've never even watched anything on Tubi, but I know people act like it's the great value of streaming services. So you know what? Let me take that back. I'm sorry, Tubi, or anybody who likes Tubi. I don't really know. I just know that's how people act about it. So I take it back. But for the sake of the joke, we had Tubi. You were the sacrificial lamb there. But anyways, I don't know. I think I got on that tangent because I was thinking about some ADHD stuff. And I think that's a symptom. And another thing about movies, if you ever watched a movie with me, you know that I can call out what's going to happen next. And I don't like watching movies because I always know what's going to happen. That's an ADHD thing. I'm going to do a whole episode on ADHD. Gonna do it. Gonna do it. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up. Good to be back. Glad that y'all are back. Glad that y'all are tuning back in. Help out the channel. I want you to just, I don't want you to tap like or tap subscribe. I want you to lightly touch it. Don't tap it. Just touch it. Just like that. And drop a comment if you deal with ADHD or something else that you think other people might have or deal with, especially in my case, like ADHD. If you have anything that could help me or help others, besides like medication, anything that you do in your like daily routine or something that you found helps you keep focus on a task or project, leave me a comment or like send me a DM. Or if you like know somewhere where there's like a bunch of ADHD information, and I might link the Reddit subreddit somewhere in the description, and some more ADHD links in the description. But if you know some stuff like that, please leave a comment or send me a DM on Instagram or whatever. Help other people. If you found help other people. I don't really have a motivational quote to leave you with today, but I will say that God loves you, and there's no denying that. Okay. The last few weeks, God has showed his love for me, to me, in a great way. And I feel the need to tell other people that. So if you're questioning if God is real or God loves you, he does. I promise you that. If he can love me, I promise you that he can love you too. Okay? So don't forget that. Hold it near and dear to your heart. I love you if you don't hear from anybody else. And like I always end this with peace and love, and I truly mean it. Like I want peace and love for everybody. So remember that. Spread some of that to someone else so that they can spread some of that to someone else. And the snowball will roll. Anyways, hope you'll have a great day, week, wherever this finds you. Hope you're well. And as always, peace and love.